Hi there, folks, and welcome back to Fiction Addiction. I'm really sorry it took a while to get this episode done. I set some time aside to start up a few personal projects, and then I thought I was gonna have to do the Steven Universe Season 5 countdown, but then the season didn't actually end because the word season doesn't mean anything to the Steven Universe crew, and what do you say we forget about all that and just focus on the Disney production we're supposed to talk about today?
Disney animated series. Boy, this short does bring back a lot of memories of watching some real classics. DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, somewhere down the line, Disney predictably, and honestly understandably, began to adapt some of their movies into animated series. And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't a fan of most of them.
I liked Aladdin fine, and I thought Timon and Pumbaa was pretty funny, but Emperor's New School, Hercules, Lilo and Stitch... I don't know, man, they all just sort of fell flat to me.
And then there's this one I barely remember watching at all. And that is Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
Yeah, after the success of Toy Story 1 and 2, someone over at Disney had a pretty genius idea. Since Buzz Lightyear was introduced as this new advanced toy from some hit cartoon, wouldn't it be fun to see what that cartoon was like? And thus, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command was born.
And I remember the show being on, I guess. I mean, I recognize the cast, but I don't remember any specific episodes, and I don't remember if I thought it was any good or not. And you know how these cartoon videos of mine tend to go, like, it seems a little much to watch a full 65 episode series just for the sake of one YouTube video.
But once again, I'm in luck, because there is actually a pilot movie. Buzz Lightyear Star Command, The Adventure Begins.
A wonderfully original title for a show based on the sequel to a hit film if ever I saw one. Well, I'm definitely in the mood for some space adventure, so let's see what we got here.
In a pretty cute intro, the movie actually starts with a Pixar animated sequence of all the toys receiving the Buzz Lightyear movie on VHS, which, doesn't date this movie at all.
Let's watch it.
Yes, play it, quick! Buzz, we're not gonna watch the whole thing. We just want to see all the commercials at the beginning. What?
He's kidding, Rex.
Okay, that is actually some legit nostalgia there. I just wonder how the hell Andy is gonna watch the movie on that tiny TV you got in there.
On the other hand, we're currently in the watching YouTube on your phone era, so who am I to judge?
Either way, the movie starts proper as Buzz and his partner are on a mission to rescue some missing little green men on an uncharted moon.
Warp, my friend. Procedure is what separates us from the wicked forces of chaos.
Buzz. If it means less paperwork, I'll take chaos.
He's evil. He's gonna turn out to be the bad guy. I mean, come on, look at him! He has the dark coloring, he has the goatee, he's reckless and temperamental, he doesn't care for the rules, his name is Warp Frickin' Dark Matter. He's evil. Clearly.
Never judge a moon by its crater.
Oh, fuck off, Buzz. Normally I'd be totally on board with your whole don't judge a book by its cover thing, but when the book is called How to Kill Cute Animals and has a picture of a puppy with a noose around its neck on the cover, then you know what? I think a little judgment is fucking warranted.
Anyway, they do eventually find some little green men, but they're not actually the ones they're looking for. They can, however, find the missing ones because of some mind link they have. How convenient. And just to show off the animation, they get into a fight with some moon vipers or whatever, and I gotta say, I love the look of this show.
I mean, yeah, it's still clearly made for TV, but it's fluid, colorful, and expressive. Honestly, good stuff.
Once they defeat the Vipers and the monster they're attached to, they find a giant base underneath it belonging to Buzz's arch-enemy, the Space Emperor Zurg, who is holding the little green men captive in the Torture Division. Where they sound like they're just being mildly inconvenienced rather than tortured, really.
Well, at least until Zurg arrives and personally kicks it up a notch. Yeesh.
So apparently Zurg is trying and failing to figure out how the LGM's mind link works for some nefarious plot, and Warp and Buzz have to get into the base to save them. But how?
Yes?
After you.
Oh. That works.
Time for action. Buzz and Warp come in, guns blaring and one-liners are flying, but Zurg is not to be trifled with and immediately starts a self-destruct sequence that results in Warp getting stuck under some of the debris. And rather than let Buzz stay and help, he activates his partner's wings, allowing him to escape with all the little green men in tow.
Bye, unambiguously heroic character who's definitely not gonna be in the rest of the movie.
On this day I vow, no ranger will ever again fall in harm's way because of me. I work alone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Buzz. You can give as lovely a eulogy as you want, but you can't convince anyone over the age of fucking 3 that this guy is actually dead. Anyway, this is where the movie enters classic cowboy cop territory, as Buzz refuses to get a new partner as per Star Command protocol, despite some promising new cadets. Alright, let's play a game of guess the new main character. My money's on this guy. But no, to everyone's total shock, it's this woman who completely cleans house during training thanks in part to basically just being X-Men Shadowcat in space. Either way, Buzz's boss,
Why the fuck did I phrase it like that instead of saying Commander?
Captain Nebula, happily informs us that this is Princess Mira Nova, Buzz's new partner. But predictably, Buzz refuses. And since we're still introducing more characters, we also meet the adorably dorky janitor Booster as he fawns over a rocket launch. Turns out he's an aspiring space ranger who has failed the entry exam several times.
So I'm sure he's gonna stay out of the action for the whole movie.
I really do like that Buzz gives him some very genuine encouragement though. It's really sweet. And finally, we also meet a new villain in Zurg's employ.
A delightful blend of man and machine, with just a naughty touch of lingonberry. I shall call you Agent Z. That's stupid.
Oh, it's hella stupid, I agree. But it's not nearly as stupid as this spy drone that Zurg sends to the little green men's planet to learn about the Unimind.
Fucking flawless!
Unimind, Solo Mind. I have half a mind to slap this thing silly if it can't tell this one apart from the others.
So apparently the Unimind is this giant orb that keeps all of the LGMs connected in thoughts and spirit at all times, and Zurg sends all his drones to attack and steal it, and holy fuck, this is like a third plot line. Let the audience breathe for a damn second.
We're 20 minutes in and we've watched 4 lengthy action sequences, had 4 new characters introduced, established a major plot MacGuffin, and started a buddy cop arc without giving us even one quiet moment throughout. Not even the most hyperactive 5-year-old can keep up with this.
Meanwhile, back at base, the LGMs have come up with a fix for Buzz's partner problem. A robotic experimental ranger, XR for short, programmed to learn from watching his behavior and to be repairable if damaged.
Also, he looks like Earthworm Jim wearing a trash can. I kinda dig it.
When the LGMs suddenly throw a fit as they are feeling the other LGMs' panic, Buzz and his new partner head off to their home planet, which Agent C is in full swing beating all the way into the next week. XR actually does gradually prove himself enough to impress Buzz during the scuffle, but he is eventually taken out by Agent C, who manages to make a clean getaway with the Unimind. And without the orb to link all the LGM's abilities together, the LGMs become too bumbling to really know how to rebuild XR perfectly. Clearly. As it turns out, Zurg plans to rewire the Unimind to allow him to take over every mind in the galaxy, but his leagues of scientists can't seem to figure out how to do so. So he just uses the corruptive touch he apparently has to make it work in an instant.
Which of course begs the question why he has an entire team of scientists working on figuring this thing out in the first place, but hey, what do I know about being an evil overlord?
However, the amplifying machine doesn't actually work on the first try.
Oh, that would do it, huh?
So now there's a crisis at Star Command since the LGMs basically keep all their tech running, and everyone is holding a serious meeting about the matter. It comes down to either the Command are launching a full-scale assault on Zurg, or Buzz or Mira arguing about who gets to pull a Death Star on his base and slip past its defenses. So they argue about this for a while, right until they're interrupted by XR and his wacky new personality.
Now follow me on this, Buzz. 2 words, timeshare. How many of you love it? All right, Monday through Wednesday, admittedly, the galaxy belongs to Zurg. But Thursday through Saturday, it's ours. We alternate Sundays. What do you think?
Oh. So he's gonna act like Earthworm Jim wearing a tin can. I'm not sure I dig it.
Nebula is not impressed, and neither is the audience, and the LGMs pawn him off on Booster as an assistant in response. XR isn't very pleased with janitor work though, and he manages to use Booster's fanboyism to lure him into slacking off and playing around in one of the spaceships. And okay, I gotta admit, this is pretty funny.
Man, Bender is gonna be pissed when he finds out you raided his stash.
Well, since Mira is such a proactive rebel princess, she goes against the commander's orders for a full-scale assault and tries to hijack a small decides that it's time to test his interplanetary mind control device.
We need a target that won't shoot back.
May I suggest Rhizome, my evil emperor?
The planet of the vegetarians, yes!
I'm sorry, the what now?
more salad?
Oh, I couldn't. Well, I'm off to meditate for the
Ovum of any creature with a face.
Short answer, being vegan just makes you better than most people.
Bingo.
Yeah, at humble bragging on Facebook, maybe.
Anyway, while Zurg is shooting his evil load all over the universe, Buzz catches up to Mira and realizes XR and Booster are on the ship with him. And thanks to this whole little escapade, these four are the only Space Rangers not affected by the mind control when Zurg shoots at Star Command. And Zurg, of course, doesn't waste any time sicking every Space Ranger on the gang when they get back on board.
No, Mira. Although currently possessed by the most powerful evil in the universe, they're still our fellow Rangers.
Ah, graduated from the Adam West School of Superheroics, I see.
They may be drinkers, Robin, but they're also human beings.
So, yeah, things are looking pretty bad. At least until Booster decides to show off his Ranger potential.
Just push me, not so fast, not so fast, not so fast!
Party's over.
The gang narrowly escapes being blown to smithereens by a bomb on their spaceship, and since Zurg now thinks they're dead, they decide to use the element of surprise and head straight for planet Zurg.
But unfortunately for them, it seems that Booster has made his awesome quota for the day, cause he just clocks out.
Buzz, I think I sat on a button.
What button?
Emergency water landing.
Oh, that wouldn't be so bad if we were over water.
Oh, man.
Blast!
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
Zurg soldiers quickly inspect the crash, of course.
What now? That's not a spacecraft. It's obviously a weather balloon. Let's leave the brain work to those with the brain, shall we?
An alien just denied the existence of a spaceship by calling it a weather balloon. I think I can hear David Duchovny having an aneurysm.
A weird conversation about nose rings later, and no, I'm not making that up, that's actually what they start talking about.
Incidentally, why can't we have nose rings?
Because nose rings are for punks, little mister.
Buzz angrily sends the others off planet, still intent on taking on Zurg alone. And soon after, he gets into a scuffle with Agent C, who turns out to be none other than...
Oh, come on, buddy. That's no way to treat your partner.
Warp?
Oh, right. Sorry. Hold on.
My name's Dark Matter. Who's surprised here?
That's what I've been fucking saying!
So yeah, Warp was on Zurg's payroll since the beginning. Whoop-de-whoop, what a twist. So as Zurg mocks his naivete and he realizes he's been defeated, Buzz records a final mission log. Which is really just a weekly coded call for backup from Mira and the others, cause he's finally learned the true meaning of Christmas, I mean friendship and teamwork and stuff. So with the whole team assembled, the final battle begins. The backup team manages to capture Dark Matter, but Zurg manages to escape, leaving Buzz and Mira to try and deactivate the Unimind.
The LGM mind link was activated by a simple touch. Maybe, just maybe.
You're doing it!
The power of good is a strong thing, Mira.
Oh, hey, yeah. Hi, Ash here, casual viewer, not really a fan of the show, only sort of half paying attention to the movie. I have one continuity question. How the fuck did you know that?
I don't remember you being in the room when Zurg just kinda did this right the hell out of nowhere, or when the LGMs had their homeworld ritual. Also, even if you did know that it's activated by touch out of research or something, which is definitely possible since you claim that the existence of the mind link is information on a need-to-know basis and you did know it existed, then what the fuck? The Galactic Police didn't consider protecting a powerful mind link device that functions as the shared brain of their entire technician staff in any way whatsoever?
Who taught you dumbasses to police the universe? The Owens?
Anyway, blah blah blah. Zurg's corruption of the Unimind has made it rotten to the core, so Mira ghost Buzz in there to fix it from within with the sheer power of his good heart. And thus, the universe is saved with a cheesy but admittedly enjoyable cry of his famous catchphrase.
To infinity and beyond!
And what did we all learn from this little adventure?
Zurg almost won. In fact, he would have. Except I had backup.
Of course you had backup.
Because everybody needs backup.
It's in the manual. Section 6, subsection Gamma.
Got the message, guys.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now go be a ranger team or something. Just for God's sake, stop with the preaching.
Okay, so despite my nagging, there are some things I do actually kind of enjoy about this movie. Like I said, I do like the toon animation style. Buzz in particular looks hilarious, and it does have some pretty exciting action scenes and the occasional funny line. But I do find it a bit hectic in its pacing, as it tries to squeeze what is essentially a 100-minute plot into a 65-minute runtime. It's a fun little space adventure that gives you a glimpse of what the Buzz Lightyear cartoon in the Toy Story world might be like, as well as a light parody of older merchandise-driven cartoons, and that's really all it needs to be. So, you know, good on it for that much.
But that doesn't really keep it from being mind-numbingly predictable and falling into all the traps of the genre it's making fun of.
This is just your basic by-the-numbers, done-to-death buddy cop story with zero surprises even for the target audience when you get right down to it. And since it's also trying to adhere to the classic cartoon team dynamic tropes and introduce a ton of new characters at once, they all fall squarely into old archetypes as well and fail to stick out or be particularly interesting. The only one I kinda like is Booster, cause he's a total sweetheart and Buzz treats him nicely from the start. But XR is more annoying than funny, and Nebula is just your typical barking officer. And then there's Mira, who reeks of the positive discrimination stick all female cartoon characters had shoved up their ass for a while, and has absolutely no unflattering characteristics.
Now, I can't speak for the cartoon, obviously, because I don't remember that much of it, and I'm sure this team works a little better and characters get a little bit more fleshed out in it. And I do get that the movie is supposed to be a parody of stock cartoons, but as a 1-hour movie, I just find it really hard to overlook these things and keep myself from watching the clock.
Still, Buzz Lightyear Star Command, the overly long title, is a perfectly fine little animated action adventure. It's worth a watch if you like the hammy plastic spaceman, and I wouldn't be opposed to watching an episode or two later.
But anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for going to YouTube and beyond with me, Rangers. See you next time!
Hey guys, and thanks for watching me ramble about Toy Story cartoons of all freaking things. We talk about a lot of stuff on this channel, so I suppose it was inevitable. If you enjoyed it, please remember to press the like button and leave a comment about some of your own favorite Disney shows or films below. And hey, did you know I make other stuff than YouTube videos too? Well, I do. Right now I'm working on an Usagi Yojimbo fan comic titled The Funny Man. The pages will be made publicly available, but by donating to my Patreon, you can read them a whole week early, as well as get access to my work in progress feed, where you can see sketches for other projects, as well as video screenshots and preview clips. So if you want to support my work, just click the Patreon link in the description below to learn more about it. But I assure you, there is no pressure. And in that vein, I'd like to thank John Oljetz, Keith McRae, Warren Miller, and everyone else who is already donating. It means the world to me, guys. It really does. Anyway, if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell to be notified whenever new stuff is available. And I will see you next time!